Hello everyone and welcome to Harv's World for episode 11 of the Pacific Northwest. You can see in the background our corn is growing nicely, but it's not in yet. And looking at the new field that we just bought, this new area, actually, not just field but the entire area, it's 22 acres large, but our field is only just shy of 8 acres. So I believe we need to open this up a little bit and put in a new field, a secondary field, utilize some of this space a little bit better, a little more to our benefit. So I have been working to clear trees out of this corner of our land, and I've got a long way to go, but for now you can sit back and enjoy the ride. I'm sure it will mostly be a comedy of errors. So as you can see, we're about halfway done here. However, the cutting is the easy part. This is where the comedy of errors begins. We all know how fiddly these lumber clamps can be, and I'm not the most skilled operator, I will be honest about it. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this, was because I wanted a little bit of practice at this stuff. And I'm definitely going to get it, because there's an awful lot to load up. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure that that we will load all of this by hand. There's just so much, and I want to get through it so we can get on to some other things. And I can't even get over my own bloody log. There we go. Come on. That wasn't too horrible, I suppose. If anybody has mastered this skill and has tips, I'd be happy to hear them. I'm sure it's just like anything else, though. You practice, you get better at it. It's just so fiddly. Whee! So it's not so bad when you're up against the wood pile, but oh, I'm making an absolute mess of this. Now this right here is where things get funky in particular too, because once a log rolls off like this, it's kind of a pain to pull it back out again. Maybe this time, hey, it actually worked for a change. What do you think? What are the odds that it actually stays there? Okay, that's enough. This trailer is a little tippy when you get it too loaded. Let's go find out how much we made now. I have already hauled 2 loads down to the lumber mill. Yeah, see how tippy that wants to be? Gotta be awfully careful. Maybe it's my poor loading skills too, I don't know. But anyway, I've already hauled 2 loads down to the lumber mill. And I'll show you real quickly that we've made 133,000 on sold wood in just 2 trips. So this is going to turn out very well. In fact, just hauling the wood off of this, I'd say that our new plot of land will have paid for itself. Now there's some other lumber that I want to, or other trees that I want to bring down on the property too, to spread things out, open up more land. And then of course we still have our own trees growing. They're several days away yet, and those are going to net us a tidy profit. But I think how this is going to play out, because this is a very time-consuming job, and you and I don't want to force you to watch all of it. So I think, you know, you'll see what's going on here, and then, you know, with at least this sale of lumber, and then we'll pick back up at the end. Just do a quick cut right to when this is done, and we'll get on with the other parts of that area that we need to take care of. That was a crash to save a tip. Yeah, now I had this this trailer loaded very, very high, and I think I was maybe averaging 10 miles an hour to get down here. Hey, what a nice parking lot. I wonder where that came from. Yeah, this trailer does not like stability whatsoever. Now all of the vehicles that I'm using right now, the tractor trailer, the forestry harvester, and the telehandler, those have all been leased, so they'll need to be returned, and we are losing some money on that as the time goes by. But when it's all said and done, we are going to be way ahead on this. Okay. Here we go. 43,000. Very nice indeed. That's going to put us up to 160 something. No, that would be 176. So I will see you when all of the trees have been cleared, and we will pick up from there. And there you have it. I am just rolling back in from selling off our wood, the last load of wood at least. And let's see what the final total was. $434,142. That is outstanding. We are well on our way to getting this area cleared out. The only thing left to do is grind up some leftovers. And get rid of these stumps. So many stumps. And obviously I didn't do the best job cutting these trees because there's plenty of big stumps left sitting around. But I'll tell you, for the money, this Biobelt stump grinder is just fabulous. It does, well, you know, the other stump grinders are actually okay. They're not that horrible, but they do tend to be a little bit fiddly. This one, you know, pull on top of it, lower it down, stump gone. And I'm sure there are many people out there who like all the little fiddly things. Maybe they just enjoy a deeper sense of realism. Whatever works for you, man. For me, I will take simplicity every single time. There's plenty of fiddly that you can't get around, so why not get rid of some of it where you can? Yeah, so the only thing left is to get rid of these stumps. Come on, stumps. And let's get our items returned to the store quickly. So we don't end up spending a bunch of additional money on leasing fees. That was a pretty good trailer, the Biobelt's TR500. That actually worked out really well. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to work on these stumps. Shouldn't take too long. But I don't think you want to watch every fart and wrinkle of stump grinding, so I will just time-lapse the heck out of this. See you in a minute. So I think that wraps up the stump grinding. Looks like they're all gone. We won't know for sure until we get a plow in here, which is coming next. I'm just going to run over to the main farm and grab our subsoiler. Doesn't look like our corn is going to make it in before the rain comes, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about that at all today. Now, I don't know about you guys, but a little bit of forestry goes a long way, and that's really why I'm skipping over quite a bit of this, because, you know, while the regular chores on the farm do tend to be somewhat repetitive from time to time, forestry is repetitive in a big way, at least in my opinion. Others might not agree, but for me that's the case. So I guess I figure if it goes a long way for me, it must go a long way for most people. But no one's ever accused me of being most people, so who knows. I'm sure there are some who really enjoy the forestry aspect of it, but for me, it's the farming, the fields, the opportunities. Okay, so we are going to create fields here, obviously. And I gotta keep using that word. I was listening to myself in some other videos, and obviously was coming out of my mouth like every 30 seconds, so one thing I don't want to do is get too close to our cornfield, and I don't want to expand our cornfield. I want it to stay as it is, and the reason for that is right now a worker will handle that field with no problem, and I want it to stay that way. So that's the reason that I'm not just expanding the cornfield down into here. Now, I don't think a worker's going to handle this particular field at all because it's going to be very odd shaped, but that's okay. We don't need workers to do everything for us. Just almost everything. We're going to run this right along the edge of the road. I don't want to take it quite all the way out to the road, but we're going to run it right out to the edge. Now, our property should stop right about this dirt track here. So I'm going to do the same thing along the dirt track, and yep, just like that. And with the dirt track we can get a little bit closer because obviously it's not a genuine road and nobody's using it. There aren't cars coming along. And there went our corn. Our corn just... oops. Just decided it wanted to be fully grown and ready to harvest. But that is not going to happen today. Our final task for today is to get this field put in. Now the reason I don't want to get too close to that cornfield actually comes back to the workers also. If you get too close, workers will start interpreting this field as part of the cornfield and they'll come over here and start working, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there will be times when it's definitely not a good thing. That should be far enough. I hope that's far enough anyway. This is actually going to turn into a good sized field on its own. I bet it's at least 3 acres, maybe more. Now it's just a matter of plowing the rest of this out. Watch how fast I do this. Well, that'll teach me to get cocky. That's what I get for being a smart aleck. Didn't quite have all those stumps cleared out after all, as you saw me trip over them dramatically. So, I guess it's a good thing I didn't return the stump grinder. So let me run back over there and grab that. Now, something I haven't told you yet was, so I know we set aside field 22. We're going to put our cattle barns in there, but it wasn't being used for anything, so I went over and planted it up with corn. So we've got corn sitting over there also, as you can see, all around the edges of our leveled off area. Anything that was usable, I planted it up with corn. That's going to be for the next episode, once this rain comes and goes. We are going to take advantage of our corn crop in a big way. And it should serve us nicely, although we are now sitting on a really nice chunk of cash, and I think we just might be at that point where cows are in our future. We're going to see where we're at when this corn crop comes in, and then I think our dairy is going to open. Still making field. Yes. I'm not sure if where those stumps come out, if that's a... One thing I wish these stump grinders would do, and that is, I wish they would shred these bushes. We hates them, my precious. We hates them. Because you can't see a bloody thing around them. It also doesn't help when you keep hitting the C key. Did we get it? Looks like it. Let's take a look at our map and see if it will tell us, because it's going to tell us we need lime. So if there's any spots that we miss, they should show up as not needing lime. I don't see anything. But yeah, that ends up being a really nice sized field. It's going to serve us well. Very nice. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. You know the drill from here. Fertilizer, lime, plant some stuff, let it grow. So until next time, I appreciate you coming along for the ride. Do me a favor, be a pal, click the like, click the subscribe buttons, and we'll see you next time. Take care.